Out of the update loop? Haven't played in a while? Well, welcome to the Runescape 2022 recap. Whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. The year started off strong with the removal of the Duel Arena, which was replaced by Het's Oasis, a brand new area featuring agility, farming, and hunter training methods. The update also introduced new consumable items known as powders, some of which, like the Powder of Burials, completely changed the meta. Just before the end of January, Jagex released the 20-year Veteran Cape, being the 4th edition of this cape series. The cape's visuals did seem to leave the player base a bit divided though. As part of this same update, ancient familiars such as the Hellhound, Blood Reaver, and Calc Demon were buffed, making all three of them more relevant in the current PvM meta. The long-awaited Abyssal Demon Slayer creatures were released near the end of February, being the Abyssal Savage at level 95 Slayer, Abyssal Beast at 105 Slayer, and the Mighty Abyssal Lord dropping the tier 92 Abyssal Scourge Whip at level 115 Slayer. March saw a combat cleanup update, in other words a fancy term for patch week, but that patch week was actually really important. It streamlined boss mechanics for bosses like Viraga and Raksha, and reduced intro animation time at Nex and Queen Black Dragon. Additionally, elite dungeon drops were rebalanced for duos and trios to bring them more in line with solos, making them more worth doing in teams. Many smaller changes such as precise boss kill times and bombs being throwable with keybinds were also part of this update. The Soul Rune Altar was buffed to produce 3 times as many runes per charge, turning the Soul Altar into a relevant method of obtaining soul runes compared to just farming them with combat. The first Grandmaster quest in years, known as Extinction, was released in April. This quest added a new relevant training area known as the Dream of Aya, with time-gated training for 6 different skills, but due to the difficulty of the quest, players were not satisfied with the rewards, and within a week, Jagex added new rewards including a passive Ring of Vigor and the ability to get more items when skilling in the Dream of Aya, such as unchecked dino eggs, relics, player and farm food, Anachronia resources, bone blowpipe pieces, and of course the tier 3 Anachronia base camp upgrade. 2 skills received relevant training methods in May, being fletching and fire making as part of the Zygamite skilling update. This update added a profitable fire making training method with high XP rates and the new tier 95 gold arrows that many players use today to great effect. In the same month, all prices of microtransactions became higher as part of Jagex's price increases. May also saw the release of new, very powerful protein items for 3 new skills, being rune crafting, herblore, and cooking. The herbal items were so powerful that they were actually nerfed 2 months later to about a third of their original experience per item, and even now they're still very good. That shows you how broken these items were on release, which was made even worse by these items being exclusively available through Treasure Hunter and not through existing protein items or packs. It would take Jagex until November to add these to existing protein packs and making them convertible from other protein items. On a more positive note, that same update made extreme potions tradable on the Grand Exchange and included a buyable overload ingredient pack. Later in August, Super Anti-Fires would also become tradable on the Grand Exchange. In June, Jagex nerfed Elite Dungeon 3 trash farming, or did they? Well, they only nerfed the amount of money and dungeoneering XP you could gain per hour, but left the common experience in place. This means the method is still the meta method of training combat skills. Additionally, Jagex nerfed the amount of vital sparks you could gain per hour by trying to counter the corrupted creature bots inside the Sophanum Slayer dungeon, a change of which we can still see the impact today if looking at vital sparks on the Grand Exchange. The days of getting limitless for 190 mil are over. The same month, a fairly large quest was released called Twilight of the Gods. The French stat player limit was increased from 100 to 500 players, effectively making it so that many active French chats could remove the AFK kick policy. The first and only boss release of this year was Zamrak, Lord of Chaos, a boss which players could challenge by themselves or with a group of up to 5 players. Unique to this boss is the unlimited enraged difficulty, causing only the most elite of players to push the high scores. The boss's rare drops consist of items that can be used to remove your planted feet switch, a new berserk extending melee armor set, and the first extremely powerful tier 95 ranged weapon being the Bow of the Last Guardian. The elite dungeon situated before the Zamrak boss fight added new money-making methods, enchantments for a variety of items such as the Inquisitor Staff, and a new dungeoneering token farming method. July also had the first PvM-themed treasure hunter promotion in which you could obtain aura refreshes, free death contracts, and combat ability overrides following the first few ability overrides as part of the previous Yak tracks. Within that same month, we saw the release of some ridiculous treasure hunter items like the Protean and Skilling Dummy processors as part of the new ultra rare treasure hunter prize tier. On August the 1st, the wilderness was changed forever as it was reworked both visually and gameplay-wise. PvP became an opt-in or opt-out mechanic, making slaying the wilderness much more doable and accessible, giving birth to new meta training methods. Opt-out players would now have to be wary of volcanic attacks and ambush attacks based on their threat level, instead being groups of monsters that spawn and attack them. Wilderness flash events, being both for skillers and combat players, were added to the wilderness in October. These events have proven to be solid early game moneymakers, and if lucky, you could just hit it big as well. In addition to the wilderness rework, the Daughter of Chaos quest related to the wilderness was released, starting the new Legacy of Zamrak storyline. Runescape hit the 300 million accounts milestone in August, and to celebrate, they created another currency event with ultra rare rewards such as Platinum Nex armor. Not long after this event, they announced the launch of a new Runescape game mode called Fresh Start Worlds, being a completely fresh version of the game and economy with boons and a changing XP multiplier to help players speed up progression. The initial plan to include microtransactions throughout the entirety of this game mode received a ton of backlash, and Jagex adjusted the game mode to have a MTX-free competitive period for the first 8 weeks. Fresh Start Worlds will be merging with the main game on January the 9th next year. Plenty of free-to-play areas have been graphically updated for consistency, making the game feel more as one RuneScape. Karamja and other areas should be receiving similar treatment at some point in the future. Iron and account restrictions were lifted and allowed Iron memes to play with other regular players. Solo Solak with proper scaling was released. Bronze PvM titles were added for when players hit 1000% enrage at enraged bosses. Daganov pets finally received a graphical rework. Purple Halloween mask? Lol. The Master Max cape, aka the 120 All cape, and its variations for comp and trim comp were added to the game. Additionally, every achievement cape received a ton of preset color schemes. In early November, the Garden of Karid, another expansion to the Al Kharid Desert, was added to the game. This update made pickpocketing when trading thieving less annoying as you no longer need to spam click, and introduced a new thieving training method, which was later nerfed due to, well, that is still a question I have today. The update also added new runecrafting items known as anima stones, increasing the rune multiplier when runecrafting. It overhauled farming herbs by adding quality of life features and changing the amount of seeds you can use per patch to a maximum of 10 after upgrades. Slayer and PvM drop tables were adjusted, changing the game forever, most notable being the fact that all herbs were removed from boss drop tables and replaced by seed drops, the effects of which we are still seeing today. The daily treasure hunter key limit in the oddment store was reduced from 60 down to 10, being a nerf to both paying customers and cheeky infinite oddment promo spammers. On November the 22nd and 23rd, everyone, including old school players, got locked out of the game for 2 days, but Jagex did provide us with compensation. The latest Yak track has introduced a new currency known as Yak coins, which can be used for all the rewards. Dragon weapons have had their special attacks buffed, giving life to new training methods and spec setups. A brand new dye known as the Aurora dye, part of the 2022 Christmas event, was released. And the final big update of the year was the Legacy of Zamrak storyline, coming to an end with the Succession quest, providing the player with a brand new dive ability which can be used just like Surge and Escape, and the max level Infernal Puzzle box that can now be added to your tool belt and turned into passive. As part of this update, the deep wilderness became snowy and the major arena was graphically updated as well. Bonds continue to increase in price, and Jagex forgot to post the executive producer's letter to sign out the year. Instead, you're just going to have to like and subscribe to my channel. I see you're a determined viewer. You're still watching this video despite there being a black screen. Thou shall be rewarded.